Hey Mike, how you doing? Hey Ross, can we hear each other? Can you guys hear me? Okay, we should all have the PDF sheets. I sent them all out. Mike, did you get the PDFs? What I did is I've taken a symbol pattern, or a symbol ostinato, so to speak, from the Gary Chaffee book. Now, Gary Chaffee is a fantastic, amazing teacher. He has put out some amazing students, and besides all of that, he's an amazing player and an amazing person. I've sat down with him a few times in my life. If you have the book, Mike, Mike, you know, you have to email me. You gave me the wrong email, I believe. Let me give you my email again. You have to email me, so I put you in my file. If you email me, I'll send you all the PDFs that are not in the book. Okay, but you need to email me, all right? Now, we've worked with a few of the symbol patterns. We worked with the basic, what I call money beat, which was just this. Then we worked with the paradiddle ostinato. And we did the whole page. And that was page, I believe, let me see. Page 11. And we did it with this one. This microphone keeps getting in my way. I gotta do something, I gotta fix it. We did this. Now, I've never really spent a whole lot of time with this particular pattern, only because it reminded me of disco, and that I hate disco. I mean, I like the dancing and all that good stuff, but the disco, or disc jockey, so to speak, it took a lot of work away from live entertainment, and it kind of like turned me off. So there's two ways now to approach this next particular exercise. Now, you keep hearing me tell everyone that my primary source of teaching is the stick control book. And I'll take this to the end. Everything you need to know and play and develop control and concept and coordinations on the first 3 pages, without a doubt. Now, the one that I'm going to do is I'm going to play my hi-hat on a count of 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to play my right hand. Now you have 2 options. You can play the crown of the cymbal or the bellow cymbal. I'm lazy today, so I'm going to play the crown. So when I count this, I'm going to count 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and. Now remember, my hi-hat's on 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and. That's the pattern that we're going to work with. And we're going to drop the backbeat on 2 and 4 on the snare. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 and 1 E and 2 and 3 E and 4 and. Now, there's a couple different ways to do this. This is the way I recommend in the beginning, is to use the crown of the cymbal, count as 16ths, and think of that count, and we're on the count of 1, 2, 3, 4, your hi-hat's being played with the foot, and on all the hands, your right hand is on the right cymbal or the bell of the cymbal. But another way to look at this, and I said about the stick control book, if I took line 2 of the stick control book, which is left, right, or 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and did a substitution, voice substitution. And I said, all right, play all the lefts with the hi-hat and all the rights with the right cymbal. 1 E, and here we go. 2, it's right there. 3 E, and 4 E, and. Now we're dropping, like I said, the left hand on 2 and 4. 1 E, and 2 E, and 3 E, and 4, and 1 E, and 2, and 3 E, and 4, and. Now, I wrote out 1 through 15. I wrote it out longhand, so it actually makes it easier for you instead of trying to just put it into your mind while you're playing, because there's a lot of things going on if you're not accustomed to this particular way of playing. So if I look at number 1 in the book on page 11, you see there's a note on the bottom and a note on the top, above the line. The note on the bottom of the line indicates the bass drum. The note above the line indicates the snare drum. So, and it has a repeat sign. So it's written actually in 2/4. If I repeat it, it becomes 4/4. I'm going to play the first line. Just what's there, just the bass drum and the snare drum a few times. I'm going to count 16ths. At this particular point, it is relevant that you do that. Okay, so here we go. Just the bass drum and the snare drum. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and. Notice though, I have the 16th note evolving, the count. So now what I'm going to do, and it depends on you if you find easier. If you want to start the right cymbal and the hi-hat first, then put the 2 and 4 on the snare and then the bass drum. Now you might be able to play it right away, but there's a reason why I'm breaking it down like this, because it gets a little involved as we go down the page a little bit. So now what we have, we're going to have 1 E and 2 and 3 E and now the bass drum. Tempo. Okay, so everybody follow me so far? Everybody understands from to this point? If not, I'll back up a little bit and perhaps re-explain it in another approach. So I'd like to see yeses or nos or help or good. Okay, so you guys, would you kind of like reply in the chat, please? Thank you. You understand it, Mike? Ross understands it. And there's 3 other guys in here. I know that one of the other students, Mike, he has sometimes listens to this or watches this on his iPhone or iPad, whatever you call that nonsense or whatever, and he can't get into the chat for some reason or other. I'm not sure why not. Okay. But now you understand why I'm counting 16ths. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go to the second one. Number 2. Now, for those who don't know how to read, that's why I broke it up the way I did on the PDF. What you have now is a 16th note and a dotted eighth note for the bass drum part. So the 16th equals itself, and the dotted eighth note equals 3/16, which totals 4/16, which equals the quarter. So to make it a little simpler, the bass drum now is going to permutate or move over one. You can say permutate or part of a grid. Okay, you're going to play the bass drum on the E. I'm going to play just the bass drum now and the snare drum. 1 E and the 2 E and 3 E and the 4 E and 1 E and the 2 E and 3 E and the 4 and that in itself is a little concentration and pretty simple. Okay, so now we're going to add the ride cymbal and the hi-hat. First we're going to play it a couple times, then we're going to add the bass drum and snare. 1 E and 2 and 3 E. Here we go. 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. So what I'm going to do now, if you all understand that, I'm going to play line 1 and line 2, line 1, randomly. There's a lot of overtone on that cymbal, and I'm trying to muffle it down. Is that ride cymbal overpowering everything else? I don't know what you're receiving. I know what I'm getting here. Can we answer that question, gentlemen? Is the ride cymbal overpowering the other voices? Yes, no, little, what? A little, okay. How about you, Mike? Is it overpowering? I have to muffle it somewhat so it blends in. See, Ross, you were here. You were here. The drum set in this room sounds, in my opinion, great. When I'm broadcasting, because it's difficult with the microphones and the soundboard, so I'm going to have to kind of like muffle that, and it sounds kind of dead on my side, but coming to you, it'll sound okay. Okay, so let's get back to the lesson. We did the bass drum on the count of 1 and 3 against that ostinato pattern. Then the E of 1 and the E of 3. The next guy is going to be the and. Excuse me. The next guy is going to be the and of 1 and the and of 3. Now what's really, important here, it's all important, but you need to understand, you need to get that hi-hat. That's what I'm taking it off of. That's where my pulse is. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4. Now we're going to play the bass drum now on the and of 1 and the and of 3. Just the bass drum and snare drum. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 and that's the math. So now we did the 1 and 3, the E of 1, the E of 3, the and of 1, and the and of 3. Now we'll play it against the pattern. 3 E and 4, 1 E and 2, 3 E 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so now that's 1, 2, and 3 so far. The 1 and 3, the E of 1, the E of 3, the and of 1, and the and of 3. Now we're going to go to the da of 1 and the da of 3. Now if you're not used to this, what's going to happen, you got to take it slow. I'm just trying to reach a I guess, neutral kind of tempo, so it's understandable, right? I mean, I can play these up tempo or real slow. Actually, the slower you do play them, it's better at first because you really need to grab hold on to the pulse. You really need to grab hold on to the count. You need to understand you're controlling the voices. They're all assigned to that particular count. So that's what you need. So now, let's do the duh of 1 and the duh of 3. Again, just the bass drum and the snare drum. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 and. You got it? Okay. Here's the pattern. Trying to do is maintain a balance between that ride cymbal, snare drum, and hi-hat so it's consistent. The voice that should be very dominating and exploding is that bass drum. You want to nail that bass drum where you say that's where you're going to be, bass drum, on the 1, the E, the and, or the duh. So now, I'll play a couple of them, mix them up a little bit. We'll say 1 through 4. And the syncopation book. Okay, so that takes us 1 through 4. I'm going to get to 5 in a second. What I like to do is make an announcement here. I'm trying to put something together where, you see, this is very surface, this kind of teaching, or upfront, so to speak. It's very simple, and it's giving you the foundation to expand. Now, from this particular pattern, or from these particular patterns, yes, we go into the stick control book, we go into the syncopation book, and we go into the new breed. Speaking of the new breed, I have been speaking to a few of my friends who've had the pleasure of studying with Mr. Gary Chester. Okay? And we decided to have them, we have decided to get together in the studio and make a presentation of the approaches that Gary Chester will give his students with the new breed. We're going to talk about the new breed 1 and the new breed 2 and how it's related to the stick control book and how it's related to the syncopation book. And yes, to all the music. Well, that's all the music. And I think that I'm trying to work on it. I'd like to put it together as soon as possible. So it's in the works. And one of the reasons why, other than the fact of making a nice presentation to whoever wants to view, they just got off of an interview. The daughter of Gary Chester has been doing a commentary, or not a commentary, whatever you want to call it, of all of Gary's students, and one at a time, a documentary rather, and they're talking about their relationship and their approaches to Gary Chester. And this is like I said, what you're learning now is the mechanics and controlling your limbs to put them where you want. Then we go to the next platform and we make it musical. But that's where we're going to go as soon as possible. Now, the two gentlemen, he was here, he did a few live shows. The one is named John Berger. He lives in Jersey, as a matter of fact, and he's on the road constantly. We're doing shows. He's a show drummer. He does also, weekend gigs or whatever. Plus, he is a graduate of the Juilliard School of Music. Then the next gentleman is Carl Latham, or Latham, I guess that's how you pronounce it. I always have a problem with last names. His first name is Carl. I don't call him like Mr. Latham, all right? And he is on the road all the time or to Mark Egan. Mark Egan is a great player, great musician, all over the world. So it's trying to put these two guys together at the same time. By the way, Carl used to live in Jersey, and maybe less than a year ago he moved to upstate New York. So it's going to be kind of difficult getting them when it's going to work for them. And I told them, if that whatever works for them, we will announce it and we'll put it on. We'll do it, as a matter of fact, we'll do it on YouTube as opposed to my site. I think that would be a very, very interesting session. They could beat me up because they have a different approach than I do. But at the end of the day, my approach, his approach, all result in the same thing. So it's good to kind of like compare approaches. And that's like I do. I have not just one approach. I have a few different approaches. My approaches work for me. If they don't work for you, I'll try another approach that perhaps will work for you. Or that don't work, we'll find one that does. All right, gentlemen, so that's going to be soon. Now, we're on number 5. Sorry for the distraction. This is why I need to make a video just on the lesson as opposed to talking and announcing and all that stuff. Now, number 5, you have 2/16 for the bass drum and an 8th note rest. And you have the snare drum on 2, and again on the 3, you have 2/16 and then the quarter note on 4. So line 5 now would be 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and. What this actually is line 3 of the stick control book, eliminating the lefts, and we'll get to that. But I just want to point out where all this stuff really comes from. Okay, so now let's put the left foot in and the ride cymbal, and the 2 and 4. Then I'll put the foot in. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E. Now the bass drum. 4 and 1 E. I'm sorry. Hey. 1 E and 2 and 3 E and 4 and 1 E and 2 and 3 E and 4. I'm glad I made that mistake. I'm not glad that I made a mistake, but I'm glad that I did make that mistake now, just to point out something to you. I was playing that, and I was thinking about something else. What I could add to that presentation with the new breed. So that distracted me from what I'm playing. That's why I made the mistake. And it just points out, when you do something, regardless how simple or how difficult it is, once you lose concentration, you're gone. So let's do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we're going to hit number 6. Simple one. Bass drum is on 1 and 3 and. Bass drum, snare drum. 1 E and 2 and 3 E and 4 and 1 E and 2 and 3 E and 4. Okay. Add in everything else. 1 E and 3 and 4. 1 E and 4. Again. There we go. I'm sorry, man. I'm just not concentrating. I apologize. 1 E and 3 E and 4. 1 E and 2 and 3 E and 4 and 1 E and 2 3 E and 4 1 E and 2 and. Let me do that again. My mind is scattering right now. 1 E. Next guy is on the 1 and the duh. A dotted 8th note equals 3/16, so you have the 16th to duh. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 and 1 E and 2 and and the 4. All together now. 1 E and the 2, 3, 4. 1 E and the 2, 3 E and the 4. What is going on with my head today? Sorry. Slow down again. 1 E. See, harder to do this slow. 3 E and the 4. 1 E and the 2. 3 E and the 4. 1 E and the 2. 3 E and the 4. Okay, number 8. E and of 1. E and of 3. So we have 1 E and the 2. 3 E and the 4, and 1 E and the 2, and 3 E and the 4, all together. 1 E and the 2, and 3 and 4, 1 E. We have a gentleman. Any questions to this point? I apologize for the little error. I am going to make a video of just this. Nice and easy at different tempos, each one. I get very distracted when I start talking about other things, and I apologize. What is this? Computer, go away. What do you got? Hold on, gentlemen. It's on the ands, Mike. I'm counting 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and, okay? I established what it's going to be on the count of 1, 2, 3, 4. That's going to be my hi-hat. And my right cymbal is going to be on the ands, all the ands. That's the ostinato, don't change. 1, E, and the. 2, E, and the. 3, E, and the. 4, E, and the. So this is on the ends. That's what we're playing. 1, 2. Mechanical, I'm not swinging. What's this one? Mark Drum, New York, sounds good. Okay, thank you. Always trying to sound better. Okay, so now, we have the next one, number 9. Hey Mark, do you have the PDFs on this? I sent everybody PDFs. You should be on my mailing list, no? Mark Drum, New York. What is your first name again, or your real name, or your email? Do you have my email, Mark? Do you have my email? Well, email me. And I'll send them to you. And request Gary Chaffee Part 3. That's all. That's what this is. And I'll send them to you. Okay? Now, the next one is number 9. We're taking the bass drum now. We have a 16th note rest, a 16th note rest, and a 16th note. If you add them up, that's equal to 4/16, which is equal to 1/4. However, you're not playing the 1, you're not playing the and. The only thing that you're playing with the bass drum now is the E's and the does. So if I just played the bass drum part, 1, E, and da. Again, 1, E, and da. Okay, with the snare drum, 2 and 4. 1 E and the 2 E and the 3 E and the 4 E and the 1 E and the 2 E and the 3 E and the 4 E and the. Then we put it together. So count us your keys. 1 E. Okay, go to number 10. The bass drum now is on the and-a of 1 and the and-a of 3. So I'm counting 1 E and-a still, all the way through this whole thing. Number 10, 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and. Okay, now we're going to add the hi-hat and the ride cymbal. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 3 E and 4 and 1 E and 2 Let me try that again for you, a little slower. 1 E and 2 E and 10 we go, now we play. 1 E and 2 E, 3 E and 4, 1. Any questions to this point, gentlemen? I'm almost running out of time. All right, we're going to stop, I guess, at number 10. And we will complete this evening. We're still going to be on YouTube this evening. Okay? And then Wednesday we're going to go back to my site. We're going to continue. I'm not going to be able to write out the remainder for you before the lesson. That would be 16 through 22. Okay? But what we're going to do, we're going to continue and we're going to expand on this stuff. We're going to get different sounds. We'll change the voices somewhat. So you get used to this. I mean, it's not easy. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. We'll have a little fun with it. Okay? So I have to stop because that's what YouTube tells me to do. If I go over a certain time, then I get charged by the minute. And we can't have that because I'm not a very rich person. But come the end of the month, the YouTube lessons are only going to be occasionally. All right, randomly I'm going to say, all right, we're going to work on a one surface pad today, and we'll do a YouTube lesson. But the members of my site, and it's going to be just for the members only, my lessons will be Monday and Wednesday, 1 p.m. and 8:30 p.m. Right, Ross? You're welcome. Okay, tough guy, Ross. What up? You're my hitman. Okay, listen. We're going to see everyone this evening. Hey, Mark, come on back. Email me. Don't forget, Mike, email me. I'll send everybody who hasn't gotten the PDFs the PDFs. It's a whole different concept. Not a whole different concept. It's a whole different approach, or if you're visualizing it, it makes it somewhat easier. All right, gentlemen. It's now, I only gave you a half-hour lesson. I'm going to try to talk to them, to YouTube, to see what I can do about extending the lessons. I will make a video of these exercises entitled Gary Chaffee Part 3. And we'll do 1 through 15, That'd be Gary Chaffee Part 1A, Gary Chaffee Part 1B. 1A would be 1 through 15, and Part B would be 16 through 22. And then I'll put them all together for you. All right, gentlemen, I hope I've helped you. Ross, we'll see you this evening. Mike, we'll see you. And Mark, we'll see you. Okay, gentlemen? Unless you have any questions right now, I still have a few more minutes. No questions? All right. You're welcome, Ross. Thank you. Okay, so thank you too, Mike, and Mark. All right, listen. We will shut this down now. I will be back the same station right now. Yeah, I have the air conditioning going on. Trust me. We'll see everybody at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, this channel. Have a good day, gentlemen.